Hello, everybody. Welcome to MJ Radio, the only MJ podcast in Spanish online. This is episode 49, number 72 overall, and this is now season 5. We want to remind you to, of course, once you listen to this show, share it on any social media that you have so that any other Michael Jackson fans can listen to it and also learn from us and the stories we tell in this podcast. Today, we have a very special episode because we have somebody that has participated, that has been a part of Michael Jackson history and a very close one as well. And as usual, today I'm going to be sharing the mic with Ale from Mexico City and Sandra from Peru. Chicas, how are you today?
We are fine. I'm fine. And I'm very happy to start this episode right away so we can start talking with our guest for this episode that you are going to be enjoying the stories that she has to share.
Sandra, how you doing in Peru?
Okay, I'm very happy today with our guest. I know we're going to be enjoying the stories she's going to tell us.
That's for sure. All right. Well, very excited. This is one more guest that we have in this show. We have had several, and just one more that joins the list. I'm very excited every time we have a guest. People react very well. They like to hear stories from people that work closely with Michael Jackson. And that just brings us closer to who he was and his environment. So very important to hear from people that were there at that time. And not just, stories we hear or read online, but hear from the people that were there. That's the key. And that's one of the reasons we have this podcast as well. So we can hear these very important people. Ali?
Exactly. And we have with us Aileen Medalla. She's coming from the Philippines. So we have a very international crew today.
Oh, yeah.
So Aileen is the author of The King of Pop and I, which is a Filipino teacher's travel memoir with Michael Jackson and his children. So Aileen has a lot of stories to share because she was the homeschool teacher for Prince, Paris, and Blanket from 2005 to 2008. So Aileen got to travel around the world with them because she was their teacher and she was a very important part of the family, as she will tell. And she got to travel. From Asia, Europe, and the US. So I'm very happy to have you here, Aileen, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Alice, Sandra, and Jason. I'm so happy to be here. And finally, I get to share my story with you guys. So, yes, I'm excited as well.
With this part of the world.
Yeah, with all
yes, I know.
All the Spanish-speaking Michael Jackson fans that don't always get to hear these stories. So, because the language barrier, but we take care of that. We will translate this into Spanish, and somebody will do your voice. I don't know who will do it, but
the voiceover.
The voiceover. And
Jason was Bill, so Jason was.
I do the guys.
The voiceover for Bill. He does the guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for Brad Sumberg, I was the voice as well. But now we have a girl, so I get to rest.
Not
good
that much.
for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, Aileen, you are from Cebu in the Philippines, and your last name, as you were telling us, is Medalla, right? The pronunciation is Medalla. And we were talking before we get into this chat. Is it common in the Philippines to talk Spanish? There are some parts of the Philippines in which people talk in Spanish, because I see all these names in Spanish. Why is it with the Philippines and Spain?
Yes, because we have a very interesting history. We have been colonized by the Spaniards.
Okay.
Yes, that was way back. And that is why you could see that our last names are like Spanish, like
Exactly.
Medallia. There's a lot actually.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and we count by uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. So something like that. And we love your food as well.
Okay.
And so we've been we really have a lot of Spanish influence in the Philippines.
Wow,
Okay.
yeah. That's great.
And we love Spanish people too. So yeah.
Yes. So it's very like different cultures over there, right?
Yes.
So you have a lot of influences from all over the world. That's a very interesting thing.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us about yourself, Aileen? Can you talk to us about your childhood, where you were born, your childhood, and all those years before you met Michael Jackson and worked for him?
Okay. Right now, I am a wife, a mother, and a business owner. But before that, I was actually born in Davao City. So I studied there from grade school to college, university life. I had it there. And life was pretty simple. And yeah, it's just an ordinary girl. And I came to Cebu to work and to further my studies.
Okay.
And then, yes, what I've said, life in the Philippines is quite difficult. So that is why in 2005, I decided to go to the Middle East to,
Why is it that you decided to become a teacher?
Oh, I love children. I love the company of the children, and I want to take part in that role of guiding and molding young learners.
Okay.
So yes, I really like to be in a classroom setting, and I feel energized, invigorated when I am in front of the children. I guess it's just because maybe because my mom was also a teacher, it's in the blood, and yeah. But I love children. And
I was gonna ask you that if you have more teachers in your family.
Yes, my mom was a teacher.
Okay.
And and I think you could relate with me that if you're teaching young kids, like you enjoy teaching, you enjoy talking to them, and it's more like less complicated than talking to adults. Like they give you straightforward answers. They don't lie to you. They're honest as they could. And yeah, I just love being in the company of children. So that is why teaching would be perfect for me.
Okay.
Yes.
And you decided to go to Dubai. You decided to go to the Middle East. And
yes.
I understand that in the book, I think you were saying that your sister was already there. So you traveled over there to find a better job or to find a better life. And suddenly you were over there and you were looking for jobs, right? And you were not finding a job.
Yeah, I know. It was not easy because at that time, maybe I went there at the wrong time because there were really no vacancies at the time. So even though how hard I tried to look for a job, I was looking for a teaching job. Mm-hmm. And then when I was sending my application letters to the different schools, there were no vacancies. And there came a point wherein I said I will work, like I would not choose any position or any job would do as long as it's an honest job. Mm-hmm. So that's it. So I really tried my best to get one, and it's hard because if you're a foreigner living in Middle East, and I could not stay under my sister's roof for a long time without having a job. So I have to find one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You arrived in what month there? Because I understand that you started working for the Jacksons in December. So
I arrived late June.
Okay, so almost half a year. And you were looking for a job, and that would be really difficult to find a job in a foreign country. And is the culture in the Middle East very different compared to the Philippines?
Yes, really different. Yes, really. Polar different, like opposites, polar opposites.
Yeah, because I think us from Latin America is like other world. So for you, it was like that. It was a different world.
It's really different. The culture is different. Like, of course, the food is different. You have to adapt to all of those stuff. And yeah, the clothing and everything, it's really different.
Okay.
And it's kind of challenging to adapt to that situation. But I was just so lucky that my sister was there, and yeah, her family took me in, and I was able to survive those times.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Jason can relate with that story, right, Jason?
Yeah, well, as an immigrant as well to the United States, definitely you have to adapt to the culture in a different country and the language as well, because
Yeah,
I came here not
it
knowing.
wasn't easy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the Philippines, English is one of the languages that you have most of you, or is not?
Yeah, I can say that we speak English because it's like the medium of instruction in our schools.
Okay.
So majority of the Filipinos knows how to speak English.
Okay, so you learned English as a child?
Yeah. Even in school, and yeah, in school.
Okay, that's an advantage, right? To
Yes.
move all over the world. If you know how to speak English, you can go
Travel
wherever
everywhere.
you want to.
It opens up the
Yes,
world,
yes.
basically.
Yeah, here in my case, I learned English because of Michael. So
Oh, cool. Really?
I wanted to understand, and I wanted to understand the songs and stuff. So I wanted to learn English because I wanted to one day be able to talk to him and not having
wow.
someone translating, right?
So you see the influence of Mr. Jackson to
Yes.
different people, right? Like you could really see how amazing he was.
Exactly.
And he is until now, actually.
Exactly.
Right?
And
So,
it's a major door that he opened for me for jobs, because the English is really important here in Mexico, and I think in all over the world. But that was
yes.
like my
Motivation.
me wanting to learn English is because of him. So
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
something that he gave me. That's a gift that he gave me.
Wow.
the same for
You know
me.
what? Yeah. And if I may add, I also get to meet a lot of amazing people like you guys now because of Mr. Jackson.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing because if not for him, I wouldn't be able to communicate with a lot of people across the globe.
Right.
And like recently, just after I published my book, I get to meet different people like in Asia, Europe, even some parts of Middle East and US. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do that. And I wouldn't be able to be talking here to you now and sharing, and will be sharing my story. So it really feels so amazing, the impact and the influence he has to all of us.
He
It's
lives on
amazing.
through all of that.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah. Jason?
And only Michael Jackson can do that. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
Yes.
we did not know each other either. We met through this show, and now we talk daily. So now we have friends, just because of Michael Jackson, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So tell us, Aileen, now you have shared with us something about yourself. Can you share with us what is it that gave you the idea to publish this book? How was the process to get this book published, and why is it that you suddenly one day decide to publish your memoir for your work with the Jacksons?
Yeah. Initially, Ale, I didn't have really plans of writing a book. If somebody asked me maybe a year or 2 or 5 years after his passing and would ask me if I'm interested to write a book, I would definitely say no.
Okay.
No, I didn't have any plans of doing that. And at that time, I just didn't see the reason why I would do it. And I know I have these beautiful stories, memories. And at that time, I was just satisfied of those memories I have. And not until, there were a lot of things written on the tabloids and a lot of things happened. And I finally decided that I think I need to share my story. And I think that it's my time to share my story. My colleagues have spoken. Bill, I even talked to him once, and he told me that you should stand up for him and whatever, like just share your story, whatever you remember, just write it down and tell the world. And I was like, yeah, I think it's right. And but at that time, I wasn't still that convinced to do that.
Mhm.
And not until last year, early last year, that I really felt that I should do my part. I know, I keep on saying this, that I have this moral obligation to defend the man who has given me nothing but kindness and generosity. So I can't just sit down and read and listen to these stories that are not even true. So I decided to write my book. And if I can just share, I remember before doing this, like a friend told me, like, are you really decided to do this? Like, I know the fans will be happy because you'll be sharing what you knew and your experiences about Michael Jackson. But let's face it, not everybody will be happy. There are haters, there are bashers, and they will be attacking you for this. And they will do everything to discredit your work. They're going to say, you're not good enough, why you're writing this book, and a lot of those stuff. And they're going to find fault in your work. They might say that it's badly written and everything. So they're going to pick some little things about your book. And I said, I am decided to do this. And she said, yeah, okay, go on and do that. Just remember that if somebody will attack you for that or what, just know your purpose. Like, what is really the purpose of this book?
Mhm.
And I know for a fact that I'm not writing this for any reason, but just to share my story, my experiences, my journey as a traveling homeschool teacher of the children of Michael Jackson. And also, I know you've read the book, right, Ale? And if you could see, the book is not 100% Michael Jackson book. So it's really about my journey, my experiences. So it started with the interview that was before and during my employment with the Jackson. So it's basically my journey, my experiences, short stories. And from that story, you would get to know the real Michael Jackson as
Yeah.
a father, as a boss, and just a human being, like a man, a person. So it's not up for those people who would like to know more about his music, about his dance steps and everything. That's not, so this book is
Right.
not for you. This is more of a personal type of book.
Right.
So this is Michael Jackson through my eyes. So
Exactly.
Yes.
yes, so
We are seeing
my
we
As
are
it should be.
personal
through your eyes.
experience.
Mhm.
Yes. So if people are looking for tabloid news, if they're looking for some scandals, lies and everything, I'm sorry, this book is not for you. So, but if you want to know him more on a personal level, then you could, just grab my book and read it. And I am so happy and overwhelmed by the positive reviews I've got so far. And they've been thanking me. I've been receiving emails and messages from all over the world, even from China, Japan, even Dubai, Kuwait, Turkey. There's a lot. And even in Europe, there's a lot thanking me for the book. So it's just so overwhelming. And I realized that maybe I did a great job as well. And it's just really just sharing my story, my experiences. And before I said that I was just satisfied with the memories I have with them, but it changed my mind. I want to share these stories. I want to share who he really was, because the fans, especially the loyal fans who have been really there since the beginning up to now, they really deserve to know the truth. And yes, I am giving you the truth as to what I've experienced.
And he deserves to have a better portrait, right? like compared to the one that the media is always trying to have of his image and his persona. For example, today here is June 13, and we are commemorating the Vindication Day, the verdict from the trial, that trial that took him to the Middle East. So
Yes.
in this time of that year, you were traveling from Philippines to the Middle East.
Yes,
And he
yes.
was also traveling, but for a very different reason. And
Yes.
it's something that is it's such a sad story to know that he had to go away from Neverland and his home. But it's a nice thing to see that he found a home over there and that he was happy there. And we got to see that through your book and through your stories and Bills and all those people that got to be with him during those years that were difficult years, because he got to like put himself together again after that very difficult time. So it's a really interesting thing to be able to know the stories of the people that was there during that time. And
Right.
I'm always really I find happiness in the fact that because of this he got to be a father, because he got away from the show business and everything. So he got to be with his children, and that's the most important thing for him. So that's a nice thing too. It's a shame that it was because of that, but it's a good thing that he got to live, to have that life, that
It's a
family.
blessing in disguise. Yeah.
It's exactly. It's like the two sides of a story, right? So it's always a difficult. Today is a difficult. This month is a difficult one because we have these two dates that are really important in his life, and they are like not happy times. Okay, so you were there by June and you were looking for a job. And I would like to ask you, Aileen, did you have experience in homeschooling, or did you got to be teaching in a regular school? Because you should know that here in Latin America, until COVID, homeschooling was not a thing. So here is not is in the US it is, but here in Latin America, it is not a common thing that children get
It's not
homeschooling.
legal.
It's
Yeah.
not
Oh.
Not even legal.
So we have some questions about that. Your experience was with homeschooling, or did you got to be in a regular school, or how is it that is that working in a foreign country like the Middle East?
Okay. Here in the Philippines, it's really the classroom setting.
Exactly.
And yeah, homeschool is not popular here in the Philippines until now. But now we have a lot, and it's considered legal, and a lot of parents are trying to embrace that homeschool, especially now, like in the pandemic time. Yeah,
Everyone
but
was
before that,
homeschooling.
yeah, and then yeah, in a few years back, it became accepted in the Philippines. But what happened with our case with the Jackson family? The children were enrolled in LA, actually in a school in LA.
Okay.
And you could see that it's legal. Like they were really enrolled as like students. And what happened was the school would give us, would send us the textbooks and everything, the curriculum and everything. So I am in touch with them. I talk to them, and I gave them like photocopies of the exercises and everything. So it's really legal, and what the children of celebrities do. Because of course of the traveling, so they can't stay put in one place, and that is the best setup for them. I think children of like maybe celebrities and government officials or ambassadors, where they travel most of the time. So yeah,
So
that was our setup.
They were enrolled in a school in LA.
Yes.
And you were having communication with them, and you were following the plans of that?
Yes, actually, in Bahrain, when I started, they were not enrolled yet, so I had to bring my curriculum with me. I came in prepared. In the interview, I was just told to bring an application and the resume or the curriculum vitae, the CV. But what I did was I came prepared. I brought the curriculum. I brought the school schedule. I brought everything, school policies and everything. So I guess that's also one of the reasons why they chose me, because I really came prepared in everything. And I prepared everything. During our Bahrain time, yes, it was the curriculum I made, because at that time they were not enrolled yet. But when we went to when we flew to Europe, that's the time we enrolled the kids to LA, a school in LA, a homeschool.
So they had like some months just with you before getting enrolled in the school.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, they did not use the real names; they were aliases. But there is a legal document that says that, like, for example, Paris Jackson is the same person with this. One and the same person.
Why would they do that? So why is that?
Yeah, the lawyers took care of that, so I don't have any. Yes.
What is the reason for them to do that?
Oh, you know already, Jason, that if people knew they were the children of Michael Jackson, you know what would happen, right? They would get all the things of all the children. They will take pictures.
They could make publish
the media.
All that. I see.
And
wow.
And Mr. Jackson would like them to have a normalcy, like a regular setup, regular school. They want he at the time was really very he really wanted them to spend a normal childhood and everything, because of course we knew that he didn't get to enjoy his, so he wanted that normalcy with his children. So that's why they decided to have that aliases.
And they follow,
so that people would not ask for the records of the children,
right? And
they might give it to the tabloids and things like that.
So they follow the American holidays as well.
I'm sorry?
They follow American holidays for holidays?
It really depends on where we are.
Okay.
Because as you see, in Bahrain, school days were Sundays to Thursdays, because it's the Islamic nation. And Friday is the day of worship for them. So their weekends are Friday and Saturday. So we really adapt to where we were. So we have to follow those schedules and the rules or the laws of that particular place. So when we were in Europe, when we flew to Europe and US, then we follow the Monday to Friday schedule for our school days.
Wow, a lot of changes.
That's how flexible we were, Jason.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. Right.
Yeah.
So do you remember? Of course, you remember the day, the interview day. How did you get the day that you get the job? Do you remember that day?
Yes.
So how that happened? Morning, night, evening? What time was that?
You mean the interview day?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It was daytime in the morning, and I was told to go to this hotel, the Ritz-Carlton Bahrain.
Okay.
And yeah, so the interview was not your typical interview, like in an office.
It sounds like it wasn't.
A very intimidating setup.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't. So it was very relaxed atmosphere, ambience. And I was there to meet Miss Grace Waramba.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, of course, Miss Grace, right? So she was the right hand of Mr. Jackson. She was the closest to Mr. Jackson. And Mr. Jackson trusted her with a lot of things. And I came there. I was really nervous, and I wasn't expecting who I'm going to meet. I was thinking it was just some kind of an ambassador or something, or a diplomat. And I didn't know what to expect. So I came in, and my sister was even there with me because she was my driver at that time, because I didn't drive.
Okay.
And I didn't know much about the place yet. So yeah, we were there, and she was really very lovely. She was pleasant. She was all smiles. But at the first part of the interview, I was really very nervous because she started asking me serious questions, like very serious questions, like your work experience, your qualifications, some classroom management stuff. And yeah, it was kind of serious, and it's very long. And I was able to answer all of her questions, and I believe I was able to satisfy all her curiosities. So,
Right.
But after that, there was actually two parts. So the serious one, the long and the intense serious one, and then after that, that was the more relaxed one. So it was just like a chit chat interview setup. So she asked me, what are my hobbies? What do I do for like days off? What like after what your interests and everything. So I know that my story was kind of boring, but I tried my best to answer her questions honestly as I can. And I told her that I don't have that much friends there because I just arrived in Bahrain.
Right.
And I told her that on Sundays I go out with my family to the church. After that, we have dinner outside and everything. So I guess the reason for that was that she was trying to get to know me more. And maybe they were really trying to know me on a personal level, so that I wouldn't, if they hire me, I wouldn't be a bad influence for the children.
Right.
Like, could you imagine me if I'm going to the club every night and I would be teaching the children? So what would I be teaching the children? Go and dance and have some fun. So
what about saying you are an MJ fan and you have a podcast? I don't think you get the job.
I know. But at that time I didn't know yet that it was Mr. Jackson. So she asked me all of these questions, but I think I was told that they already checked all the applications, the resumes, and I believe at that time she was already decided, and Mr. Jackson decided to hire me. But the interview was just for the formality and just to confirm if it was really a right decision. So I knew that they have already checked everything, like with the experiences, the qualifications, and everything. So yeah, and I also believe that I have an edge over some of the applicants because I was told that majority of them are flight attendants. Because in the ad there was like a willing to travel. So I think the flight attendants were also drawn to that. And and then I think qualifications wise, I have an edge over them because I am a real teacher. And they were looking for a real teacher and somebody who could be a good influence to the children. So I think they found it in me, the sincerity in me. And I was also told, if I may share, that they said that finding the right teacher is like finding your lifetime partner. Like anybody could be, like there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of single men or like single ladies, but only one will be your lifetime partner, and you would know it right there and then. Like you will have that connection, and there's something in that person that you will know that she's right, that she's for you or he is for you. So same thing with the teacher. And I think at that time they thought that they felt that connection, or they saw something in me that they confirmed that the decision was right. So yeah, after that, the chit chat and everything, Miss Grace told me, oh, by the way, your employer is Mr. Jackson. I was like, oh my God, is this a prank? Like, this is not a good joke.
Where's the camera?
I know, yeah. Like, is this, I don't know, is this a joke? Like, but when I looked at her, she 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 was so serious, and I said, "Oh, it must be true." And
Did she say?
and before
Did she Michael Jackson or Mr. How do you know? I mean, there's many Jacksons.
he said, Michael Jackson. By the way, your employee is Michael Jackson.
And did you ask the question? The Michael Jackson?
No, because there's a backstory actually. Because weeks before that, I already knew that Michael Jackson was in town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my friends, I kept on hearing from my friends that, oh, what, I saw Michael Jackson in one of the malls. Like they have this very famous mall at the time, Bahrain, the Seaf Mall, and said, oh, I saw Michael Jackson in Seaf Mall, and I was like, I was there. Why I didn't get to see him? And I remember praying, like, Lord, please, could you just give me the chance to see him, even for 10 seconds. I'm okay. I'm all right. Please, Lord, just once. And can you believe it? God answers prayers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He will give you more than you'll ask for. And so, look, I just asked for 10 seconds and He gave me more than what I
Oh, wow.
asked. So
Years. Yeah.
God is so amazing. So, so if that is one of the signs that I could tell you that prayers really work. If you're just sincere, prayers really work. And yeah, that was just so amazing. And
do you think he was watching the interview?
I'm sorry?
Do you think he was watching the interview on a monitor in another room?
When you were with Grace?
Oh, I'm not so sure, but I believe after that, Miss Grace told him everything.
Okay.
And Mr. Jackson trusted everything. I mean, Miss Grace with everything. So it's like they have this connection also that Mr. Jackson, Miss Grace knew what Mr. Jackson is looking for, what he liked. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. He trusted Miss Grace with that. Yes.
Okay, so after that, and when you got that job, and you were still thinking, this is a joke,
Yes.
Right? This
I
is
know.
not true.
I know, yeah. And after that, when she told me that Mr. Jackson is your employer, and I couldn't, like, it's so hard to contain myself. I want to scream. I mean, could you imagine somebody told you that you'll be working for Michael Jackson? So, but then, yeah, I did a great job. I was just trying to be calm and tried to finish the interview. And after that, yeah, when we went out, we were like shouting inside the car, and yeah, that was really a great experience. Yeah.
And then the day arrived in which you have to meet the family. How was it for you that day?
Yes. Yes. After that interview, I got a call from Miss Grace that Mr. Jackson wanted to meet me. And I was like, what? Mr. Jackson, Michael Jackson would like to meet me. And I was so like nervous, like, okay, this is it. And so on that day, the security manager came to pick me up at our flat. And then while on the way, like on our way to their house, I was like, my goodness, please. Like I have so like panic attacks. Like, what if he doesn't like me? What if he changes his mind? What if, yeah, there's so many things on my mind. And
were you afraid of the kids, Aileen? Of the kids not being nice to you, or?
Yeah, I have hesitations actually, because you've heard this. Children of the celebrities being bratty and spoiled, right? And how they treat their employees or other people. I was really hesitant because I was like, these are the kids of Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson was larger than life. Like Mr. Jackson was the most famous person on the planet. And I was like, I was really praying that they're nice. But when I get to meet them, oh my goodness, they were the exact opposite. They were polite. They were well-mannered. They always say, please, thank you, and everything. And they were the sweetest and the kindest. and you would not think that they are the children of a celebrity, because they're really down to earth, and very, very polite and well mannered. And Mr. Jackson really did a great job raising them.
On when Bill's book, he described the day he met Michael, and he came down a stair, and it was very exciting the way it happened. It was very normal, but at the same time, it was exciting because he came down the stair, or was it the stair or from the back? I don't remember, but it was an exciting story. Did you have something similar, or was more laid back?
Oh, I was there at the living room, but it's a bigger living room. So I was asked to wait there. So I told you that I had panic attacks, and I was like, what if he doesn't like me and everything? What if he changes his mind and get a new teacher? So I just kept a moment of silence, and I prayed. Praying works for me all the time, I tell you. So to calm my nerves and everything. And after a few minutes, he came with the children. I could still remember he was wearing a blue long sleeves shirt dress, and with black pants slacks with the children. And he was holding the children, like they were hand in hand holding hands. And they came to me like, it's like in a slow motion. It's like in a movie. And and then he was like, hi, and I am Michael Jackson. At the back of my mind, like, I know who you are. Oh my God, no further introduction. So, hi, I'm Michael Jackson, and these are my children, like Prince, Paris, and Blanca. And he extended his hand to reach mine, and he shook my hand. And I don't know if he noticed that I was shaking, and I was really cold. My hands are cold. And he was really nice. And I said, hi, Mr. Jackson. I am Aileen. And then we sat down, and I brought again all my resume, my application, the curriculum, everything, school policies and the schedule and everything. So he told me, okay, let me hear what you have in store for my children. So I explained to him everything, like the schedule will be Sundays to Thursdays. We start at 8:00. We'll have a break we'll have snacks, lunch, and then we end at 3:00 and everything. So I had my lesson plan, the D book, wherein I put all the topics of all the subjects and the activities, and he was reading it, and he was nodding. So I was like, it's like an assurance for me that, I think he's happy with what I have, because he was nodding as he was checking my files. And so the subjects that we had were like normal subjects, like any other school. We have mathematics, science, reading, language, social studies, a lot. We have arts and crafts, we have PE and everything. So after that, when I explained everything, the school policies, they have to come in, they have to be wearing uniform and everything. They have to be wearing black shoes, white socks, and school uniform. And he was nodding, and he told me that Miss Aileen said, yes, Mr. Jackson. I said, can I ask you a favor, or could we add one more thing? I want to add manners and etiquette. So at that moment, I knew that he was serious in raising well-mannered children. I know for a fact that education is really important for him, but manners, the values, and etiquette is equally important for the children as well. Mm-hmm. So that's it. So I explained everything, and he told me, okay, we'll see you on Sunday, because Sunday is the first day of the school day. For the week. So I said, okay, well, I'll see you on Sunday. And I was like, okay, Mr. Jackson, I'll see you. And then say, okay, children, say goodbye to Miss Aileen. And then we said our goodbyes and they went back. And I had my moment to digest in everything. Yes, and I have to calm myself. And yeah, that's it. So I was worried for nothing. And he was really nice, very, very nice.
So
he was really consistently nice.
You got to shake Michael Jackson's hand. Most of us
yes.
didn't get to know him, let alone touch him. So did he have very big hands? Did he have a strong grip or very smooth hands? What was that?
It was just like it was a strong grip.
Strong grip.
And it's actually twice when he introduced himself and when he said their goodbyes. So twice.
That's a highlight. That's a highlight right there.
yeah, that's a bonus.
Yes.
yes, I know.
Amazing.
Aileen, and compared to other jobs that you have had, how much difficult or easy was for you to work with the Jacksons? Was it more difficult or was it easier or?
The job I had was not easy for sure. I mean, it has some perks, but it has some disadvantages too. Perks, of course. I got to meet the Jacksons. I got to travel the world for free. And I got to learn different cultures. I got to taste different cuisines as we travel. I got to meet a lot of amazing people. But the not so good part was being away from your family for a long time. So you'll also get homesick. And though, especially the Jacksons, that they want to live in a secluded place, like it's not they are not like the city type. Like in Ireland, we went to like a secluded place, like a property where it is far from civilization, something like that. So so it makes you really homesick at times. So that was just the part of the not so good part, but everything was cool. Everything I'm so grateful, and I'm so thankful for the experience.
Were you allowed to tell your family that you were working for them, for the Jacksons, or
yes,
okay,
yes, but I didn't tell my friends, or I didn't post it in social media because they would know. Like if I say I'm in Ireland, so they would know Mr. Jackson is there. If I say I'm in London, so they would know where Mr. Jackson was. So only my family.
Okay. Can you describe for us, Aileen, how was a regular school day for you? You started at 8 a.m., I think, and you were finishing at 3 p.m. But how is it? I cannot imagine how can you manage three children by yourself from different ages, especially, Prince and Paris were really close. But Blanket is like a really different approach to him. So how was a regular school day for you?
Okay, so yes, we started school at 8. So we have a normal setup actually. It's just like a school because, as what I've said, Mr. Jackson wanted to give them a normal setup, like a normal classroom. It's just like any regular school. So wherever we went, we have a designated place as our classroom. So if we are staying in a castle, we have a place where we held our school. If you're in a hotel, we have a different hotel room that is close to our rooms for school. And sometimes we use, like, if Mr. Jackson was not really comfortable getting a different room, he would say that, can we just use your room? I said, yeah, no problem. So sometimes we use my room as our classroom. So it's really it's fun and challenging at times because of course of all the traveling, and I have to change my not really change but add some more details of our lessons. Like if we were in Ireland, since we were in Ireland, we have to study the culture, the food, the folklore, the myths, about St. Patrick, leprechauns, the banshees. So I made sure that we get as much as we could and as much as we could learn from the place that we were. So I like to incorporate all of those in where we were. So to make more learning authentic. So I made a lot of research. I talked to locals, and then just like in Ireland, like the helpers, the locals, the helpers. I talked to them because they were the locals and they know more about the history and culture and what the people like. And and then when it's class time, I share it with them. And so it's kind of enriching and it's kind of fun as well. So that was the setup was different everywhere we went. So just like the subjects were all the same, but we just added some. We just added some to suit our situation, our setup.
But you had to have different lessons for them, or for example.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I have a different lesson for Prince in Paris. Of course, a different one for a much younger Blanket because he's gonna cry if I'm gonna give him the difficult one.
How old was he? Like 6, 5, or 6?
Yes. 6. Yes, and sometimes in other school days, I would explain to Blanket first. Okay, about this particular lesson. And then if he has some questions, I will try to answer them all. And after that, I will give him some activities to check if he really understood. And then when he is answering his exercises, I go to Prince in Paris and I teach them the lesson of the day, the subject topic of the day. So that's it. So, but I didn't really have any problems with them. They're fast learners. And and they knew also at that time that Mr. Jackson was monitoring. And even in Bahrain, you have a CCTV, like the camera. So Mr. Jackson was able to
watching.
Yes, oversee what was going on. And then one time, we had this. I was really very new to my job at that time, and we were discussing. And Mr. Jackson saw that while I was discussing, Prince and Paris was talking, like we were just exchanging ideas. It's just like a normal conversation. And Mr. Jackson didn't like that. He liked them to raise their hands and I will call them, you may start talking, something like that. So Mr. Jackson, we have a phone inside the classroom. So he called me and then said, Miss Aileen, please let the children raise their hands before they talk. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. I said, please let them raise their hands so that they will learn to respect, and let's do that. Please help me discipline the children. I said, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll take note of that. Because I was just like encouraging like normal conversation, like they will be at ease, like they will be comfortable with me, because I was still very new at the time in Bahrain. Yeah. So I was just getting to know each other. And but he didn't like that. So I have to change my style. So they knew from the very start, they knew that Mr. Jackson was monitoring. They knew that he was always checking on us. So they don't want to get in trouble. So they participated now. They listen to me and they follow whatever I told them. So, and also after school, Mr. Jackson would always ask them, oh, what happened in school? What did you talk about? What did you do? And Mr. Jackson would also help them with their homework because I give them homework. And then, and they would ask Mr. Jackson for a division problem, multiplication problem.
I'm like, everything. Oh, don't ask me like that.
and I was like, and there was one time Mr. Jackson was, and then Prince or Paris saw me like, Miss Aileen, Daddy said, could you please explain this again? There's a
And
little.
Michael paying attention on the monitor.
Yeah, I
to
know.
you.
And then I explained it to them again, and everything. Said, yeah, it was really fun. It was not your normal setup, but it was kind of fun. It's really fun. And while I was teaching, I really have to put it on my mind that these are not the children of Michael Jackson. Like, I have to treat them as normal students.
Mhm.
And Mr. Jackson always tell me, at the like the early days of my work, he told me, please don't let the children boss you around. You are the teacher, you are the boss. Don't tell them to, because
I love that.
children,
I love that.
yeah, children have the tendency to say, oh, you have to do this, blah, 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 and like that. Although they don't mean bad, they didn't mean bad or something. But Mr. Jackson just told me that, please don't let the children boss you around. You are the teacher, you are the boss. If I am not around, you're the boss, you're the one in charge. And they should follow you.
That's a really, really important thing, because sometimes the parents take away the authority from the teacher, right? Because the children go and complain, and then you get the parents complaining to you because they don't want you to boss the children. So
Exactly.
I'm really impressed, and I really appreciate, as a teacher myself, I really appreciate that he gave you that place of authority. And I was going to ask you right away about the discipline. So I have the idea that Michael was a disciplinarian with his children, but he was talking about discipline with love, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
what kind of, for example, when Prince, Paris, or Blanket didn't get the homework and stuff, what kind of like, how do I say that? How did you manage that? Could you punish them for that, or what is it that you could do, or what is it that you couldn't do?
Okay. In that aspect, I didn't have any problems because, as what I've said, they knew that Mr. Jackson was always
It's like a
monitoring.
vaccine. It's like a vaccine. It works perfectly.
Yes. So they knew that Mr. Jackson was always monitoring. He knew what was going on. So they have to perform really well, and they have to do their part because they don't want to get into trouble. They knew also that I could talk to Mr. Jackson anytime. He's just a phone call away. If I could not talk to him personally, like if I didn't have the chance to see him on that day, I could just personally call him and tell him about them. So they knew that fact. So they were really, I was really happy in that they followed me, and they didn't give me any problems with that. And if I may add as well, I'm also very happy that when it comes to school, Mr. Jackson was so supportive. And regarding, like, for example, museum visits, park visits, and if I would tell Mr. Jackson, like, could we go to the museum? I want to show this to the children, and it's part of our lesson. And would it be possible if I could bring them there? Like, they would learn a lot, and it would be also good for them to be out of the classroom once in a while. And I'm so happy that we are on the same page, and he would never say no, as long as we'll find the right schedule. He would always say no, or he'll ask security, okay, you book this. For example, if we need to go to a museum, try to get the tickets for the museum. And yeah, he was so supportive in that aspect, and I'm so very, very thankful for that. And he understood everything, and yeah, I didn't have any problems in that aspect.
In that way, I have a couple of questions more for you about your teaching, and that would be how did you get the kids involved and motivated in school day by day in that special situation? What type of strategies, or what was your approach? For example, when there could be a little bit of frustration because of the the conditions that they were living in that specific place. How did you manage that?
Oh, I was so happy that those kids, even at a young age, they knew the importance of school, and I believe that Mr. Jackson always reminded them that. Just like I remember in one of our math lessons one day, and I gave blanket exercises like like simple math for his age. And here comes Blanket. He's like the most playful one, and he's the one who complains all the time. Complains in a cute way, not really, not in a bad way. And he was like, "Oh, math again? Why do I have to do this every day?" Something like that. And I was like, "Blanket, math is very important. Do you know that we use math in our everyday lives, like counting and everything? You have to." I tried to explain to him the importance of math. And here comes Prince. And Prince said, "Blanket, imagine when you're already a grown-up man and you own a business, okay? And you're the boss. What if your employee or one of your people would say, 'Sir, can I have $1,000 because I need to buy some stuff?' Okay, so you give him $1,000. And what if he came back and told you, I give you a sheet of paper and told you, 'Sir, there's no more change because I finished all the money to buy this stuff.'" And then Prince said, "Blanket, if you don't know math, okay, so how would you know that if your worker or the employee is trying to fool you? Like, what if there's really like some money left and you don't know how to count? That would be such a shame." Like I was so lucky because we were on this Prince and parents like were very mature in their age. And we were trying to explain things to Blanket, the very much younger Blanket, because he did like, "Why do you have to do this every day?" Like in a very cute way. Yeah. And and then Prince was like, "See, your people could just easily fool you if you don't know how to count. Like, what if?" And they say, "Oh my God, my boss is so dumb," like something like that. So we tried to explain it to Blanket. And I said, "Blanket, yes, and they would not respect you if you're not smart. If you're not a smart boss, they would not respect you, and they will just like take advantage of you, and you don't want to happen, right?" And he was like, "Okay, I'll finish this. Math is important." Yeah, it was so cute, and something like that. So there were some like complaints and everything, but not from the older siblings, like from Blanket, but because he was still a baby at that time. So yeah, you would understand. He's still a baby. Yeah, and I'm still used to calling him Blanket, not Biggie or BG.
Not Biggie.
Yeah, I'm still used to calling him Blanket. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have that much problems with them. I did have problems with them. They were so.
For Prince and Paris, where did they have like a special subject that they were not that into that subject, or?
They love everything. I think it's normal for every kid, like the mathematics, because in the curriculum, especially when we were using the curriculum, the one in LA, it has a very thick textbook, like the math activity book, and they have to do it over and over and over again. And there's time constraints, like you have to do this for 1 minute, and there's a lot. So I think they love math, but you were just maybe tired of doing that over and over again. But you have no choice. You have to follow the curriculum. So yeah, but they love everything.
And were there any subjects in which they were really good at? Or Prince?
They were really good at everything, actually. Even if they complained with math, they had really high grades. They were really good, really, really good. And if I may add, all the normal subjects, we added some biography. We learned about different lives of different people, like Martin Luther King. We learned about the Wright brothers, Helen Keller, Walt Disney, and everything. So we just added some more subjects, and we learned about different countries and everything. So yeah, I did have problems in that department.
And did Michael told you any like suggestion as he was a homeschool kid? And did he have like special concerns about homeschooling that maybe he passed to you as suggestions or things that he was concerned about the education of his children?
Not that I could remember, but the one thing that Mr. Jackson always reminded me was to incorporate manners and values in every subject. So we tried to find like a lesson for each for each subject. We tried to relate it to something that they would learn, like for values and manners and everything. For math, for example, for sharing, for like the what do you call this? For equal parts and everything. So it's important to share. It's important to do that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mr. Jackson was really particular with that. So you could see, even from that early on in the interview day, I mean, the day I met him, I knew already what was important to him. Education is very important, but it's equally important with the manners and the values that the children will be getting in the education in school. So yeah, that's it. That's how amazing he was. Yes.
Yeah. And can you tell us about the thing with the water? Because he was wanting his kids to be drinking water, right?
Yes.
The water,
Yes.
drinking water was an issue, was important for him.
Yes. In school, I made sure that they drink a lot of water. And so I made this, like I have this reward chip, like a small paper that I give to them every time they finish a bottle. So at the end of the school day, whoever has the most the chips of paper will get like a certificate. Like, yes. And so Mr. Jackson is also happy with that because the children were really drinking water. And they get to drink a lot because they were like motivated. And then when these passed, even if there were no cheats anymore, you could see that it's already in their system. They were really looking for water. And they feel the need to drink water all the time. And we couldn't be happier with that.
And they also exercised, right?
Oh yes.
And you were doing the exercises with them.
Yes, we have physical education. It's every day. So no matter where we were, no matter the season, weather, it may be hot, it may be freezing, we have to do that. So even we are in the hotel, like for example, if you're in a city like in Tokyo, we stayed in a hotel and we cannot just run outside because there's a lot of press or media. So we have to run in the hallway. And we just tried to make it as silent as possible so that we would be able to disturb other guests. So it's we have PE everywhere we went to. So that's part of our school, part of life, actually. Yes.
How would you describe Michael Jackson's own cultural and educational level?
Mr. Jackson was really very smart. Okay, really very smart, and he was a bookworm, and he was always with a company of good books. He would always read about travels, architecture, designs, anything you could think of. And many people were trying to bash him that he didn't know nothing. Maybe they keep on saying that all he knew was to sing and dance. But no. He was really very smart. He has a very good head on his shoulder. And he knew a lot of stuff. And he could carry very intelligent conversations. And current events, he knew what was happening all over the world. And he was listening to the news all the time. And I think that's also his way of trying to connect to the world, like what was going on, even the weather. Like I remember one time when I came into the suite. I think I was looking for the children, but I went inside their suite room and I saw him watching the news and CNN, and he was like, Miss Aileen, did you call your family in the Philippines? There's a storm, there's a typhoon in the Philippines. Hey, are they okay? And he was like that, and I didn't even know that what was happening. And he was like, hey, you have to call them and check whether they're okay. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that after school, Mr. Jackson. Yeah, he was really that informed. He was I know, like maybe bashers or haters would think that he was really shallow, but he was not. He was really very, very smart.
He was not disconnected from the world, right?
Yes, he wasn't. Yes.
He
knew what was going on.
Did he ever use a word that you did not understand? Because he liked the big words.
Oh, in my case, I guess with Bill, he did, but in my case, no, I pretty understood everything he said. Yes.
We're at the same level.
He was really well informed, and he's very, very smart. And yes, I think that's why the children, do you know that the children were also bookworm? Like at the very young age, Prince already had that interest in reading, even like late at night or even early in the morning, even when the lights are off. Prince would always bring a flashlight with him and read books. That's how he influences children. And Paris, and when I was still with them, she was into this magic fairy books. And during our break time, she would always tell me like stories about these fairies and everything. So she was really into reading. So yeah, that's the influence of Mr. Jackson to the children, the love for books.
Did he ask you to have like religious topics into your classes or spiritual ones?
We didn't have religious education.
Okay.
And yeah, he was in charge in that department. Okay. And yes, but I know that they have a strong faith in Jehovah. So, and we also, plus the fact that we don't have the same religion. So it might, yeah, but I know we have the same God. There's only one God. But yeah, in that department, Mr. Jackson was in charge for that.
Okay. Yes. Who was the one that was more the one that is talking all the time in school? Prince, Paris, or Blanket?
Oh, all of them actually. But yeah, Prince was like the leader. Like
he was such a big brother, right? He was such a big brother.
Really looked up to him. He was like their idol. Like whatever Prince say, they will follow. So yeah, Prince was really very responsible at a young age. He matured really early, and you could carry some intelligent conversations with him.
And what do you think of him today when you see, because we are so proud of, especially him, because all the work that he does and everything that he has achieved. And when you see him in those Instagram lives that he's doing, and he has he's so mature, and he's so down to earth, and I feel, and smart. So how do you see this young adult compared to that small kid that you had in your classroom?
Yes, I am so proud of what they have become right now. I'm so proud of them. Prince is, my goodness, he's just awesome, and he is continuing the humanitarian work of Mr. Jackson. And I'm so proud of him. I'm really, really so proud of him. He is, even at a young age, he was really very kind, and he has this he has a very good heart. I mean, everybody, like all of them, they have a very good heart, just like Mr. Jackson. And I'm just so proud of what he's been doing today. But it's just a little awkward when I see a photo of him with his girlfriend. And it was like, because I was like, my mind is still on the young prince, and I was, I can't imagine him that. I can't imagine him with a girlfriend. So yeah, I think, oh my God, I just have to remind myself, Aileen, they're all grown-ups now. They're no longer the 9-year-old kid or the 10-year-old
And
kid.
riding the bike and that stuff that he likes to do is, oh, that's dangerous.
Yes, I know, and I always send a message to Miss Grace, like, Miss Grace, have you seen? I always send her some photos. I said, Miss Grace, have you seen them? They're so beautiful, so handsome, and yeah. And I said I couldn't believe that my angels are so grown up now. Like they were just tiny little children that we like. I spent like almost every day with them, especially when we were traveling. It's really practically every day, every single day. Because even like after school days when we were traveling, usually sometimes they would ask, Aileen, do you want to go watch movies with us? So we have a block screening, we would watch movies. And yeah, I would always go with them whenever we go somewhere. So it's practically I spent all my time with them, and I was just so blessed to have that. And looking back, we were just enjoying those moments, and yeah, I would just look at those moments, and I never knew that we're already making memories, really fun memories, and that's all what I have right now. And whenever I see them, Paris, on the other hand, is also a very good singer, and I knew from the very start that she would follow Mr. Jackson's footsteps in singing because she was like among the three siblings, she was like the performer type. Like she would like, Miss Aileen, do you know how to sing this, or do you know how to do the moonwalk of Daddy, and something like that? And she would like to act it out in front of me, and I heard her sing a lot of like songs. Like she would hum and sing some songs, and I knew from the start that she would really pursue singing. And I am just so happy, and I'm just so proud of what we have become right now. And I'm sure that Mr. Jackson is smiling in heaven right now, and he looks upon his children. So
when we had a podcast, of course, when Prince got graduated, because he posted it. He posted the videos on his social media about that day, and we talked about it on the show, of course, and we were just like you right now, very proud of what he had accomplished. But now I'm thinking, for you though, you were a part of that though. How did you feel when you seen that he graduated, he walked, that he was dressed? Did you really feel that proudness, like, I did that, I was a part of that?
I don't want to take yes, a part of that.
A small part, but you were there.
Yes, at some point of his life, I was there. Yes, I am. Yes, I couldn't just contain the feeling. I am so proud. And when I was looking at him or all of his pictures, my mind was really to Mr. Jackson. Like Mr. Jackson, here's your son, and he finally made it. And yeah, I'm so proud. Really, really, really proud.
Great. Thank you.
Did you ever discuss with Michael that the children needed to be with other children? Because that's very important, socializing for kids.
Yes. That is why I also proposed to Mr. Jackson that once in a while we'll go out. We need to go to museum, parks, or even bookstores. We have to different shows, and yeah, because they need to go out of the classroom or where we were at that time. They need to enjoy as well, because as what you've said, it's really very important that children needs to socialize. And also when we were in some places, like I remember in New York, because there were times when Mr. Jackson weren't able to come with us. He wasn't able to come because maybe at that time he was busy or doing some work or rehearsing. So it was just me, the children, and the security. So we would go to they would go to the parks and playground, and they would be able to play with other kids. And that is how also how I appreciate the coverings, the mask. Like, people criticize him for that. Like, you said, what is he doing? Is he crazy? Why is he covering the faces of his children? Like, they didn't know that it was just a father trying to protect his children. And it's just a father trying to give the normalcy that the children needed, because he didn't get to enjoy that when he was young. And I realized the importance of that, because when we were out without Mr. Jackson, people didn't know, the media didn't know how they look like. They could enjoy, they could walk on the streets without the fear of being attacked and harassed by the media. And so people at the time, people didn't get it. Like, they didn't get the reason behind it. Even me, like, I must admit, at first I find it weird. Why do we have to cover their faces? Like, they have beautiful faces. Why do you have to cover? So, but soon, days passed, I realized the importance of that. And and Mr. Jackson allowed us to go out without him, because he knew it's going to be different if he was with us. Because like some instances, when we go to a place, when Mr. Jackson was with us, we could enjoy a few minutes. But when one person realizes that he was Mr. Jackson, he would try to get his phone, try to get a photo or a video, and all the people would come. And there's going to be, and after that, we will just be left. I mean, we will just be running towards the car, and we wouldn't enjoy. So that is why sometimes Mr. Jackson would allow us to go all by ourselves, so that the children would enjoy. But sometimes the children would really love to be with their dad, and they said, Daddy, please come with us. And sometimes Mr. Jackson can't say no, so he came with us. But there were instances that it was just us, and the children were able to play with other kids, and I will be watching them, and I will be chatting with the other moms, and they didn't have a clue that their children were playing with the children of Mr.
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
I know, and they were like, "Oh, how old is your child? How old is your kid?" I was like, "Oh, she's 8," and blah blah blah. Like, is your husband an American? Because Prince is white, and Paris, and then I just said yes and everything, just to end the conversation, and I was like, I just said yes and everything they say, because I was there beside them watching the kids as well, and just to let them have fun, have a little freedom that they don't usually enjoy. Mr. Jackson knew about that. That's important for them to be social with other people. Yeah.
What was the place, the city that you spend more time in, or the country that you stayed longer?
We stayed longer. I think U.S.
The U.S. Oh.
Yes, we stayed longer in U.S.
And which one is
in Ireland? In Ireland, we stayed for a couple of months as well, and we really enjoyed Ireland, because at that time, Mr. Jackson was able to enjoy the freedom that he didn't get from other countries. I could see that he had, if you want to the normal day-to-day life, he experienced it in Ireland. So it was kind of special to all of us. They were bonding, and they got to do some regular normal stuff there. Yeah, without the fear of the paparazzis and the media. So Ireland is very special.
So would you say that in Ireland, he was the happiest of that time?
I saw that he was happy. I saw he was at ease. He was calm. And I think so, because the most important thing for him is his family. So he was able to bond and spend quality time with his children. And so, yes, I believe Ireland. Yes, that's what I've experienced. I mean, that's what I've seen and observed.
Exactly.
When
during those,
when you were
Yes.
informed that you were gonna come to America, did it go through your mind that we might get a lot of press and it might get a little crazy over there, or no? That just didn't even think about that.
Um, because you know, because in our situation, we really never. I mean, on my side, I didn't really get to know where we are going next. Like that's just the
surprise.
Jackson. Yeah, it's always a surprise. Like pack your things. You'll be traveling to London in 3 days, or like pack your things. We'll be going to Japan. So it's never. They will not inform me ahead of time. So when they told me that it's actually after my Christmas vacation, they just told me to follow in US. So they came to US first, and then I followed them in Vegas because Mr. Jackson always gave me time to go home to Bahrain and spend time with my family. So yes, so I just followed them in US, and I was just so excited because that was my first time to go to US, and I said, "Wow, so this is US," and yeah, I was so excited, and I was just thinking, like, at the back of my mind, I was like, what made him return, or what made him change his mind? Because I know at that time he was already decided not to go back. But I think when I saw in Ireland that he met a lot of people from the industry, from the music industry. So I thought that must be work related. That really led him to decide to go back. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
And do you have like a special story in one city that you would like to share about that city? Something happening in one city that you can remember?
Oh, okay.
Maybe while traveling or at the airport.
Yes. This is just to show you how it is not in the book actually. We were in London, and we had this a regular school day. So after 3 p.m., we after 3 p.m., the kids normally just go back to their room with their dad, and they relax and everything. So while me, I have to organize my stuff and everything, and I just have to stay in my room. It really depends on me if I want to go out or what after school, and Mr. Jackson allowed me to do that. And when it was almost dinner time, like I guess it was 6 o'clock or 6:30, I called up for room service. I was like, could you please, I ordered some food. Could you please deliver some food, blah, blah, blah. And then he told me like, oh my God, you were not with the team, like with the Jacksons? I said, why? What's happening? And then he said, like, they went out for dinner, and I thought you were going with them. I said, no, I don't have any idea. And then he said, like, okay, let me check. I said, okay. And then here comes, after like 10 minutes, the head of security called me. And he was like, Miss Aileen, you're in the hotel? I said, yes, I am. Why? Why I shouldn't be here? And he said, I thought you were with the other car, because he said that we were going to have dinner in a Japanese restaurant in London. And he thought that I was, because I think there were like three cars. And he thought that I was there. And I was said, no, I'm here, but it's okay. You can just go ahead and have dinner. I'm fine here. I could just stay here and order some room service. And then he said, no, Mr. Jackson wants you to be here. And he said, okay, I'll send one of the security to pick you up. And then I said, are you sure? And then you wouldn't be able to start your dinner right away. I said, no, it's okay. Mr. Jackson wants you to be here. So, okay. And then I told
you
him,
were
okay,
in your pajamas already, right?
No, at that time I didn't change yet because I still have to have dinner. Yes. And then that's it. So the security came, and he picked me up and brought me to the restaurant. And And there were a lot of people outside, like fans, like they knew that Mr. Jackson was there. And I was like, when I got inside, I was like, oh, Mr. Jackson. And then they didn't start dinner. They were waiting for me. I was so embarrassed because, oh my God, what did I do? Like, I was like, Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry. And then he was like, I didn't know. I thought we were in the car. I told them to inform you that we're going to have dinner. And I said, oh, Mr. Jackson, it's really okay. I could just stay at the hotel. And he said, no, you're very important. Like, should come share. I come sit down and let's have dinner. And that was the Mr. Jackson that, like, I really appreciated him more at the time, because could you imagine the king of pop waiting for me? I was just a nobody. I mean, they could have started and I could just follow, or I could just have my dinner, but he wasn't like that. He was really kind.
Models and manners.
Yes. And he that was not the first time actually that he showed how kind he was, how he appreciated me as an employee. He would show some stuff to let you feel that you appreciate it. And at that time, I also realized that, oh, maybe I'm really part of the family now, because like I was that important, and all of them waited for me. There were like a lot of them, and they waited for me. So yeah, that was how thoughtful and caring Mr. Jackson was. So yeah, that's why you could say that I'm so emotionally attached to them until this day. Because as I've said, he showed me nothing but kindness all through the years I've been with him. Yes.
And can you share the story about the phone call when he was calling you and you couldn't answer that and you were all worried about what's happening?
Yes, yeah. I had a missed call, and yeah, as what you've said, I was doing something else, and I didn't know. Maybe it was in a silent mode or what, but I didn't hear my phone ringing, and it says there, Mr. Jackson, like missed call, and I was so scared. Like, did I do something bad? Like, what did I do this time? Like, I was so scared. Although we talk on the phone on a regular basis, but sometimes he wouldn't leave a voice message, because just a missed call, but he left a voice message and says like, Miss Aileen, this is Mr. Jackson. Please call me as soon as you can. Like, as soon as you can, like ASAP.
There's a problem.
I know. Like, what did I do? Like, will I get fired and go back to the Philippines now? Those were like at the back of my mind. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I tried, I called him back and I was like, Mr. Jackson, like, this is Aileen. Do you need anything? How can I help you? And he was like, oh, no. I just called to say thank you for teaching my children. Yeah. And thank you for being you. And I do appreciate you. So that is how thoughtful he was. He wouldn't call you, not because he needed something from you, or he would ask you to do some stuff or to buy something and everything. He would just call you and tell you that he appreciates you. So that's how he was. And a lot of people didn't know that. They didn't know that side of Mr. Jackson. Because let's face it, people are more interested in scandals and trash and dirt and everything. So in my book, I would like to share with you through my journey, and you would be able to see him, and or maybe the other people would see him in a different light, like who he really was as a person and on a personal basis. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you have a funny story to share?
Funny story, yeah. There's really a lot. He was really. People didn't know that he was kind of funny. He was effortlessly funny. I guess I just share that with you. Also, the one when I said that when we were doing the PE, the laps, that we were jogging, running around the pool. And as what I've said, I didn't really have to do that. Like as a teacher, I didn't really have to run or jog with the children because that is their PE. But I did it with them because I want them to know that I was with them every step of the way, and I don't want to let them think that I'm bossing them around. Although Mr. Jackson gave me that authority to boss them around,
He
just,
gave you permission to do that.
yes, permission. I have the permission to boss them around. So I was just letting them know that I was with them every step of the way, and I was willing to do everything they're doing. So when Mr. Jackson says you need to do 20 laps around the pool, and it is a pretty huge pool, I have to do it with them. And one time we were really so tired, like after how many laps, we were so tired. We was like, can you rest for a while? And it was so hot in Vegas. And Mr. Jackson saw us, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs, like, faster. And it was like, we would crack up, and we were laughing so hard. And we continued running. So can you imagine that? Even in PE, he was really checking on us. He was monitoring us, and he was like, "Faster! You have to run." Sorry. And me, maybe I was thinking I was also one of the students, and I ran faster as fast as I could. And yeah, that was just, it's so funny. There were really a lot of precious moments with them. At the time, it doesn't really seem precious. It doesn't really seem special. But looking back, there were like really good memories that I was just satisfied to keep it with myself, but I want to share it. I want to share that to all of you. Like Mr. Jackson on a personal level, like the normalcy and how he was as a father, as a boss, and a regular person. Yes.
How often did you get to talk to him about the children, the progress in the school? Did you have like a special meeting every now and then, or it was something like you could talk to him whenever you needed to?
Oh, I could talk to him whenever I want to, and he checks on me all the time. Like, how are they? What were you discussing now? And yeah, it's just it got to a point even that I forgot that he was Mr. Jackson. Like he was. It came to a point that I forgot that he was the king of pop, because I get to talk to him all the time, and normally our topics were all about the children. So checking on the children, what they did and what they do. But yes, I got to talk to him every now and then. And also what I appreciate more about Mr. Jackson is when we go to like a new place. For me, in my first time in San Francisco or in San Jose, he would always tell me to, he said, "Hey, would you like to go out? Would you like to explore the place?" And he was really kind, and I could just talk to him anything under the sun. And he was like in Frisco, he was like, "Miss Aileen, is this your first time here?" I said, "Yes, it's my first time. Would you like to check out the places?" And I was like, "Of course, I would love to," because everywhere we go, I try to enjoy the place. I try to explore, because at the back of my mind, what if this will be the first and the last time I'm going to be here? So I tried to explore. And Mr. Jackson was also very understanding about that, and he would love the people around him to enjoy and experience the place and everything, the food. And yeah, he was not selfish at all, and he wanted you to grow as well as a person. And he knew that traveling is one way to do that as well. And you would grow really, you would grow a lot just by the means of traveling. Yes.
What do you miss the most about those days?
Oh my God, I missed everything. I miss school with the children. I miss the normal conversations. I miss watching movies with them. Everything. I miss everything about them, their company, just a regular day with them. And yeah, just being in the presence of the King of Pop and the children and Miss Grace also. And
you still keep in touch with Grace, right?
Yes, I almost every day. I even talked to her yesterday.
Oh.
And Yes, she is the person who I really admire. She is somebody I respect so much. She was my mentor, my advisor. She was a friend. She was everything. She was also the reason why I have strong faith in God, because whenever I had like some problems or situations before, it was always Miss Grace who would help me, and she was the one who guided me with the pros and cons of working with Mr. Jackson, because I didn't know really what to do, what to act. I don't know. But Miss Grace was very patient to teach me everything. Like she would always tell me, Mr. Jackson did like this. Mr. Jackson would love this, something like that. So it was because of her that I lasted really long in my job. And up to this very day, she is really she's still there, and I can always text her wherever she is. She'd always reply, and we'd always check how she's doing and everything. Yeah, and I'm so happy that I get to meet her. She's like the female, as what I've said, she's like the female version of Mr. Jackson, like the kind, the generous, and very, very nice. I hope you get to meet her as well, because she's really a blessing. Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't
And,
give many interviews, so it's hard.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's really
She's very private.
interesting because she's like very private and the fans don't know anything about her. So people create these very different stories about who she is, what she does, because we don't know.
Yes, and as what I've said, I get offended as well if I hear or read some bad things about her, because I knew her, and I knew her on a personal level, and it's so sad because those people who haven't even met her has a lot to say, and it's I feel so sorry for her. And she's one person who sincerely loved the children. She would give her life for the children. She is one, aside from Mr. Jackson, Miss Grace is the person who cared for them since the start and until now. We always talk about the children. We call them angels. Oh my God, you've seen our angels. They're so grown, and she sincerely loved them. So they said there are angels. Yes.
So I'm guessing you got to learn a lot, as you have said, from this experience. But what is the one thing that you think the greatest lesson that you learned from that experience with Michael and his family?
Yes. Throughout my journey, I've learned a lot. I've learned so many things, and I think the most important lesson that I've learned is that. Just like Mr. Jackson, it's not to judge a person based on his race, color, his status in life. I mean, I do give the same respect to a company's president to a ordinary worker, because that is what Mr. Jackson showed me. I was a nobody, but he accepted me for who I am. He trusted me for a very important job. And I heard that there were also like Filipinos ahead of me they were also hired, and they said bad things about him. But I was just so happy that Mr. Jackson didn't see my nationality as a hindrance to trust me, because maybe at the back of my mind, he might say that he's also a Filipino. He's from the Philippines, and she might do the same thing. But he didn't do that. He continued to show kindness, and he accepted me, and he treated me as like he treated me as family. And I was nobody. He didn't know me at first. And through the time, I think I have also proven myself, my love, my loyalty, and my respect to them. That's why Mr. Jackson has given me that treatment as well. So I don't judge people on their race, their color, the status, and everything. I treat everybody with the same kind of respect.
That's correct. Thank you very much. Did you give the kids the day off for their birthdays? Or
Sorry?
Tell us about the birthdays.
did you give them the days off for the birthdays, or they had to study that day?
Oh, for birthdays, birthdays, yes, we did have school during birthdays. Yes. It's time to celebrate. Yes.
So they celebrated the birthdays.
It's actually celebrations. It's not really. It's really for the children. Even for Christmases, I knew before Mr. Jackson didn't celebrate Christmas, but it's because for the children. Mm-hmm. At that time, he wanted the children to enjoy Christmas and even birthdays. And even it's in my book as well, during his 40th birthday in Ireland, he didn't even have anything planned, but it was just our surprise. We planned a surprise for him. So yes, it's the celebration is mainly for the children.
When you
and celebrations like this are really very intimate. It was only us, and I remember during that time when it was Blanket's birthday, we were in a hotel in Vegas, and I got all the balloons. I prepared. I ordered the cake. I ordered the food, and it was just us. And as what I've said in my book, that I thought I was just there to help them prepare the suite room. And then I said to Brother Michael, one of the security, said, I need to go because I'm done with decorating and everything. And he said, no, Mr. Jackson wants you to stay. And I was like, are you sure? Because as what I've said, even though I was already working for them for a long time, I don't volunteer myself because I knew the importance of privacy with Mr. Jackson. So I always give them time, like bonding time. I don't volunteer myself. I don't like to go there and announce or everything. I only join them when I was invited because that's the kind of respect I have for them. I respect them that much. And I want to maintain that professionalism. And at that time, it was Blanket's birthday. Brother Michael told me, yes, Mr. Jackson wants you to stay. And I said, are you sure? And then he said, he said he wants you to stay. So that moment on, it's like confirmation or reaffirmation that he really thought of me as family, because he only spent special moments with them only. But when you're invited to celebrations or birthdays like that, then you knew that he trusted you and he's thinking of you as family.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about the presents that you got from him? Or I'm especially interested in if you could talk to us about this. Oh my God. This note that you published in your Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us the story about this one? Because I think this is really precious too.
Yeah, Mr. Jackson was really very thoughtful. And as what I've said, he would always make sure, I'm talking about my case, okay? For my case, he always made sure that he made me feel that I was appreciated, that I was doing a great job. And every now and then he would come up with a present to me. And what's the good thing about that is, aside from the present, there is also a handwritten note, which are so precious to me and what I've shared with you in the book. Mm-hmm. And it's not about, I always say this, it's not about the material things. It's the gesture. Yeah. It's the effort. It's it's like him, the king of pop, giving you a present. That's the gesture. It's not all about the material thing. So that particular letter came with when he gave me the iPhone.
Oh.
And it was here. Remember that here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the iPhone was at the time, the iPhone was still really very new. It came out. And he really liked it. And when he liked it, he got a lot of iPhones and gave it to his employees. Like, yeah, you should try this. And
like candy.
Yes. And he gave some to his friends as well. So he was really thoughtful, very, very, very thoughtful. And I remember the time when we were still in Bahrain, he gave me the collection, the
ultimate
album.
collection. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it has a dedication like to Miss Aileen, thank you for teaching my children. So yeah, that was the first one. I received a lot actually from him. But what I treasure more are the handwritten notes because it takes really, it takes a lot of effort to write a letter, even just for a short note. And if I may add, maybe if I have some regret right now, maybe at the time I should have asked for a photo with him. As you can see, I don't have a photo with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All I have are all these memorabilia, the things he gave me, the letters and everything. And maybe you could see some photos of me with him, but that was the paparazzi or the media in the internet. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of pictures with him, like videos and everything where we were at the time. But maybe at the back of my mind, I didn't ask him because I was scared that he might take it against me, or you might say that, why are you asking photos or what? But that's all in my mind. Again, this was all in my mind. But I knew if I did ask him, he would really say yes for that. So yeah, if maybe that's one thing that I should have asked if given the chance, if I have to go back on that time. Yes.
It amazes me how caring and how loving and how trusting in people he was after all the things that he got through his life. I'm just so amazed at the fact that he kept on trusting people, loving and caring people, that his essence didn't get away after everything that he went through. That's amazing. It's something that I cannot understand.
Exactly, because like for normal people, I'm not saying it's not normal, but for us, like if you've been hurt and if you have been betrayed, it's so hard for you to trust again.
Closed.
Exactly. And for him, it was the opposite. And I was so thankful with that because I was like a recipient of his kindness and generosity. And all those things that happened, bad things that happened to him, didn't stop him from trusting me again, trusting me and accepting me. And that was really so amazing about Mr. Jackson. And I feel so sorry for him whenever I read this stories on the tabloid. That's why this is also one of the reasons why I came up with a book. And also, I just want to stress as well. I've said this before that I want to inspire. I know inspire is a big word, but then I want the people to get whatever they can from my story, from my journey. That I had a lot of challenges. I have a lot of difficult situations in Bahrain, not getting jobs right away, being turned out, no vacancies and everything. But if I had not continued, if I have given that hope, that faith, and that willingness to continue, I would have not met Mr. Jackson. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I want them to know that whatever difficult situations they are right now is just temporary. So you will meet people, good people in your life that will show you kindness, just like what Mr. Jackson did to me. You may not meet a celebrity, but it could be some other people who would show you some light and would give you a chance to believe in humanity again. So, and for that, I was just so thankful and blessed that it was Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. When was the last time that you talked to him? Or why is it that you had to left when you left in 2008 when they were in Vegas still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to because I'm not getting any younger, so I have to have my family of my own as well. So yes, and Mr. Jackson understood that because he was also a father. So yeah, that was the last time. Yes. And yeah, if no regrets, happy memories, just just sharing my story to all of you guys so that you would also get to know him.
And you went back to Philippines.
Yes.
After that, you went back to Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you get to meet Conrad Murray, Aileen?
No.
That wasn't that time. Okay.
During the time, no, I didn't get to see him or to meet him.
No. It was before. Your time was before him getting into the house.
Yes.
There wasn't any plans for DCC. There wasn't any of that when you were there.
No, because I think this is it as already
in 2009.
Late 2009. I mean, sorry, 2008.
2008. Yeah. Early 2009. Okay.
Yes.
When you were there, you didn't get to see that he was experiencing problems with sleep or that he was not healthy, because he was really, in the last months of his life, he was really thin. He was really he was in a bad physical state. When you left, he was not like that. He was still...
No, not at all. And Mr. Jackson was very health conscious. And
with the food, right?
Yeah, he was really very health conscious. Even with the kids, he wouldn't allow them to eat sweets all the time, the candies and lollipops. No, they're only given on special occasions, birthdays, Halloweens, Christmas. So even if those sweets are there in front of them, they have to say, I have to ask Daddy because Daddy doesn't like us to have a lot of sweets. So you would know that he's really health conscious. He gave some treats to the children once in a while, like Krispy Kreme or KFC and everything. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese once in a while. But I knew for a fact that he was really health conscious, and that is why the reason for the water as well. We didn't get to drink soda. Even me, I changed my lifestyle, the way of eating because of him. I was so, I really have a very poor diet before, but when I get to work with him, I learned how to eat salad, healthy food, because he was really health conscious. And that was the food that I get to eat in their house. And yeah, so he was healthy at the time. And after I left, that's why I said I could only answer questions during my employment, because I wasn't there anymore. So whatever stories I know, it will just become hearsays or rumors, because I wasn't there to experience everything or to see it or observe it.
Yeah, for your experience, it was you left a healthy man.
Yes, he was. He was a healthy man. And he was really calm. He was happy. His disposition in life at the time, he was happy. He was joking all the time. And maybe work got into him. I'm not so sure because I wasn't there anymore. Maybe the schedule and work and rehearsing and everything. So
how did you find out about his passing?
Oh my goodness, it was a very sad day. I was already back here in the Philippines at that time. And when I turned on the TV, CNN News is breaking news. Michael Jackson passes away at the age of 50. And I was like, this is not a good joke, because we get that all the time, right? Like celebrities, like fake news. Like, oh, he passed away and everything, and it's not really true. So I was like, this is like, the media is too much. It's like, what are they doing? And I was like, when I changed the channel, it was still the same. And I was like, oh my God. And I couldn't believe what I just seen. And yeah, I was crying at the time. It's like early morning, and I was so heartbroken. But my mind rushed. My thought was to the children. If I was that heartbroken, how much more the children? Mr. Jackson was their best friend. Their lives revolve around Mr. Jackson.
Mhm.
Can you imagine that at a young age and you lose your father? And yeah, I was crying for many reasons, for the children, for Mr. Jackson, and everything.
Mhm. A sad
It
day.
was really a sad day. Yes,
Mhm.
and it's coming.
Exactly. It's a hard. It's a sad month.
Yeah.
June. It's a
Yes.
sad and a difficult one, but we love that we have you here to commemorate that day and to remember him with those lovely stories of the real person that he was, that heart of gold that he had, and that's the best way to remember him, right?
Yes, and we can't bring him back, but all we have are these happy memories, as you've said. So we'll just try to remember him in a positive way,
Mhm.
and continue celebrating the man, continue celebrating the person.
How do you think
And
he should be remembered?
yes, he will be remembered. He will be remembered. And I'm so thankful for people like you, because you are there, and you're a big part in keeping his legacy alive. And yeah, we'll just do continue celebrating him.
Yep.
Jason or Sandra, do you have another question?
No, well, thank you very much for being with us today, for writing this book. And it's important. It's important that this kind of information is out there. I think of it, we always think of this show as also as a part of history, that we're writing a little bit of history. And it's important for the people that work close to him to leave that record. Because we see Michael not only as the king of pop, Michael Jackson, but we see him more as a not Da Vinci, a person that he's gonna live for generations. And right now we don't have information about those guys. There's many missing pieces from their stories that we would like to know. But for Michael, well, while there are a lot, because a lot of people are private, they don't want to, they don't feel the right moment is there. So every time somebody like you come out to tell the real story, we appreciate that, because it's one more piece of the puzzle that will be in Michael Jackson's life, that for future generations, and also help the present generations that may have doubts, especially after stuff that goes out, it comes out in the news or shows, whatever. And it's important for them to, if they have a doubt, like something like this comes out, buy it and read it and be like, okay, my doubts now are gone. There's no need for you to doubt. Or if you have a doubt, well, grab this book, read the real stories from the people that were there. That's why these kind of books are really, really important. And also Bill's book, what did you think about Bill's book? Did you like that one?
Have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie. And a friend just told me that there was like a teacher there, and it's like Asian, and they were trying to describe it to me. And I don't have the book of Bill as well. But last year, Bill actually tried to send me a book. But then because of the pandemic, it was returned back to the sender.
Oh.
And yeah, I have to ask him again, actually.
The book traveled all over the world.
I know. So I have to, I still have to read it. And I will, is it good? The movie is good?
Yeah.
Yes.
We were surprised. We were surprised.
Pleasantly
we were
surprised.
afraid of that, but we were surprised in a good way.
Oh, okay, cool.
For me, the toughest part of the book is the one when he starts talking about Conrad Murray, because he was there, Bill was there. And in that part of the book, I was like, closing the book right away. Like trying to, don't go there, don't go there. So
Yeah, the same with like I talked to some of the fans and they were enjoying my book. And then when they said when it was the last part, the gone too soon, they were saving it and like, please, I don't like to read this because it's so sad. And I was like, yeah, we can't do anything. And yeah, all we need to do is just continue celebrating him and continue his legacy so that other generations will come to appreciate him more, his music, his what he did, and for him as a person. Yeah.
And talking about Bill, Michael told him about the governess, like, go get the governess or something like that. Was she the governess? Ladies, you know the timeline. Was she the one?
I think she is the governess. Like that title, that fancy title for you. Do you think that was a title for you?
I'm not so sure. Was it in the movie?
He put it in the book.
Or book?
In the book.
A book. I'm not so sure. I have to read it. I have to ask Bill about that.
I don't know what the date that it happened, but they were in America and they were at the airport, and then I think at the airport or something like that. And I don't know how come the teacher came about, and then Michael told them the governess, and Bill didn't know who that was. So
What a governess was.
yeah, but I think it's you. So if it's you, then there you go. We have the governess in the show tonight.
I'm not so sure because I haven't traveled with Bill though at the airport, so I'm not so sure. I have to ask Bill.
All right, pretty cool.
Yeah, Sandra.
Yes. Did you ever get to see him with his family, his extended family? Because we don't know much about that. There's some people see Michael as a stranger that away from his family. Other people says that he was around his family. So we don't really...
Yes, unfortunately, during my time, I didn't get to see his siblings. I would love to meet Miss Janet Jackson. And
Miss Jackson.
I was really praying that, oh my goodness, I hope I could meet her or just get to see her. But my prayer didn't work at that time. So
one Jackson is enough, and you got Michael.
I know. Like maybe God was telling me you're too much, or you're asking too much.
You're asking for too much. I already gave you Michael.
I know. And yes, I haven't given a chance to meet them, but I was honored and humbled to meet their mother, the queen of the Jackson family. I met Miss Jackson in London and Japan. Yes. And I haven't met his siblings.
So you only met Catherine?
Yes.
No Joe Jackson wasn't around?
No. She was alone, actually, when we went to in London, and she was alone. So and the children adored her, and Mr. Jackson really loved her. So I was just so fortunate that I was able to meet her finally, and I was so starstruck, more than Mr. Jackson.
Were you more of a fan of Janet or Michael?
Both, actually, both. But I was really a fan of Mr. Jackson. I love his music. I love his songs. But I didn't get to the point where I was an obsessed fan that I followed him everywhere, like buy all the stuff, like maybe everything about Michael. I didn't say you're obsessed. I'm sorry. No, I didn't.
Like you wouldn't have a podcast about him or anything like that.
You only lived with him. You only were teaching his children.
So I did that. I didn't get that point.
Yeah, we understand.
Wherein I researched about him, and I just knew at the time that he was a great singer. He was a great dancer. So it was very superficial.
Yeah.
I love his music and everything. So definitely I was a fan. And also Miss Jackson, Janet Jackson. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song, Aileen?
Of Mr. Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
There's really a lot. So it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. And you know what's so funny before? he has a lot of songs that I really didn't know that it was his. And I was so embarrassed because the kids was like, oh my God, that's Daddy's song. I said, really? I was like, because I knew those songs were not really played that much on the radio. I just heard the more popular was the Thriller, the Billie Jean and everything. But those songs that were not played that often, I didn't know that it was his. Like The Girl Is Mine at that time, I didn't know. And I was like, I love this song. And then Paris was like, that's Daddy's song. And I was so embarrassed. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. After that, I didn't talk about songs anymore. I know. So yeah, I at that time it didn't really get to me that he was the Michael Jackson, the real thing. So yeah, because at the time when we were with him, he didn't really ask for a celebrity treatment.
So, Aileen, and one question before I forget. What about his voice, his normal speaking voice? We're always asking about that.
He was really soft-spoken, like Miss Aileen. Like Miss Aileen, can I talk to you for a minute? Something like that. Like, Miss Aileen, something is really soft-spoken. And he was really soft-spoken.
Do you keep the voicemails?
I haven't. I haven't heard him like in a really loud voice, except one time when he screamed faster. Yeah, that's the only time. Yeah, that's the only time I heard him. Yes.
You never got to see him angry. You never got to raise his voice with the children, or
he was still soft-spoken when he was mad, and those were just times. He's not really angry at the time. It was just like teaching Blanket some lessons, like when because Blanket was so playful, and for a child who was like 5-6 years old at the time, so you could just imagine how like the things he would do. So it was like Mr. Jackson was like, "Hey, stay at the corner," like giving him time out or letting him go out of the room. So something like that. Just not the angry part of side of him.
Did you keep the voicemails from when he called you, or did you lose those once you changed
that
numbers?
was one regret that I have. And the iPhone that I was using last time was not working anymore, and I couldn't open it, and it was all gone.
Yeah, that happened to me.
I have it with me and share it with you guys, but I know that was one.
That happened to me.
How hard iPhone is, right? Like when it's locked, you cannot open it anymore. Yeah. And especially if you lose your iTunes account and everything. So
yes. Yeah. That happened to me when my mom passed. She called me a lot, and I had a lot of voicemails, and I don't know what happened to the account, and that's it. I don't have those memories.
I know.
Yeah. The picture from the cover, how that came about? How did you choose that picture?
Okay. For this one, because I wanted to have a picture of Mr. Jackson at the time when I was working for him. So if you have seen that Ebony magazine where he was on the cover,
right?
So that was the inspiration of this, because this is the time when I was working for Mr. Jackson. I didn't want to have a younger version of him, or the time when he was doing his concerts and everything. This is the perfect photo for me because I was already working for him at this time. And the Ebony photo shoot, we were there in New York, in Brooklyn, actually. So we stayed at the hotel with the children, and he was there doing the photo shoot. So I would love a photo. So I really asked our designer to make it's like an inspiration, like for this one. And I would love to have the Ebony cover, the real one, that will have legal issues with that.
Yeah, so, that's a big problem.
Yeah. So I just
did he wear makeup, Aileen, in the day-to-day, or when in the home?
No. Only when he had only when we had events or like the photo shoot.
Yeah, he put on the
So,
King of Pop, right?
yes,
He put on
and
the
also
Did he
the
change?
one.
Did he change like his
his
personality?
vibe.
Yeah. Did his vibe change when he was in working mode?
Oh, for me, what I remember was it's still the same. I remember one story in my book, the one I told you when he was going to the awards night and he was dressed up
For the
and
World Music Awards. Mhm.
yeah, World Music Awards, and I knew, and at the time I realized that, oh my God, I'm really working for the King of Pop because he was transformed, he was dressed. But then he was maybe because I was with the children and everything. So the same tone, the same thing, how he would talk to me and everything. So it's still the same. Yeah. So King of Pop, costume, and not costume but persona or the father or the boss is still the same for me.
The same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was laughing the other day because I was listening to your interview with the Michael Jackson book club, and you were telling something along the lines of he was a very hands-on father. And I swear to God, I just understood handsome father, and I was like, yeah, he was handsome. Talking about handsome. And I was like, yeah, he was.
So we have to translate correctly. So there's no.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
You get what you have in your mind. So I was thinking about he being handsome, and you were talking about being a handsome father.
Yeah. Oh.
Funny.
He was
All
pretty
right.
handsome that night.
Oh yeah, he was.
Let's close it up, ladies.
Yeah. It was a really, really nice talking to you, Aileen. And we really appreciate the stories and all the little details that you were giving us. We appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts. So thank you very much. I will end up the book. I'm just halfway through it, but I'm trying to enjoy page by page. I was in the part where you were traveling to France, and when you were in the hotel and you were really hungry and you were
Yes.
asking for food. I was in that part, and I really felt as if I was there with you. So it's a really good book to see someone through your eyes. So I really thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. And yes, as what I've said, I do appreciate all you do, and thank you so much for keeping
Any
Mr.
plans?
Jackson's legacy alive.
Any plans of getting this book translated into Spanish?
Oh yes, I have a lot of fans like emails asking me if yes, I would love to. One day I would love to, but for now it's a bit difficult on my end. But I would love to. I will work on it. And there's actually other fans asking me to translate it in French, in Chinese, in Japanese. So yes, but if I would have the chance, then Spanish would be a priority as well.
Yeah, those stories are really the fans that don't speak English are getting out of those stories so much. So it's really, really a sad thing that they are not getting the stories from the people the stories that are really the ones that should get to the public, not the other garbage.
Yeah, but for now, I'm thanking you for your help and for helping me reach out to the Spanish-speaking community. I really do appreciate, and thank you so much. And I know there are a lot of fans out there who are really into getting to know Mr. Jackson in a personal level.
Definitely.
So yeah, I really thank you so much.
Yeah, we thank you for this wonderful night here. It's the morning with you.
Morning here.
So
Yes.
we are
Morning.
enjoying this so much, and we are sure that our audience will also be enjoying this. So we will try to get this episode by June 25, so we can have something nice to listen
to remember him by as well.
to remember him on that day.
Aw.
I have the Kindle.
Thank you.
I have the Kindle version. I don't have the actual book. I got the Kindle. But
cool.
just by this interview, I felt like I was there. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Reading the book is gonna be even better now. So I'm excited now to start reading it.
Thank you.
No, thank
and I
you.
get that. Like the fans feedback or review, they always tell me that reading the book was just like traveling with Mr. Jackson. Like they are in my place traveling as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that I was able to relay my message, and I was able to let them journey with me
Yeah. Thank
across
you.
the globe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. For the fans who speak English, how can they get the book?
Okay.
Through your website.
Yes, I have my website. It's www.thekingofpopandI.com. And there's also an Amazon. And you could also send me a message for a signed copy. We have a hardbound and a softbound. You can send me a message on our Facebook page on Instagram. And it's all in full color. I think the one you have, Ale, is
It's not
black
in
and white,
color.
right?
It's black and white. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want, I have also here like a little bookmark
Oh.
and yeah, full color. So if actually there are just color, there are two.
I want that
okay.
one.
I want that
Yeah,
one too.
so
I want that one.
if you want to have a signed copy, you could just send me a message on my Facebook and Instagram. So we ship globally.
Is that the same, the King of Pop and I, for both accounts?
Mhm.
King of Pop and I for
Okay.
both accounts.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aileen. It was great.
Oh, thank you, Aileen.
So much.
Great to meet
It was
you.
great talking to you.
And
Oh,
also,
it was great. I had a great time. Thank you, Sandra, Jason, and Ale.
and it's also
Nice
awesome.
meeting you.
Awesome because we don't get to see Michael working with other countries, for people from other countries as much. Like not many Hispanics. He didn't work with that many Hispanics, and you're Asian, and I relate. My wife is Vietnamese, so I'm very happy about this interview. Of course, guess yeah. I'll let her know I talked to you.
Happy to share. Yes.
Great.
Happy to share.
Yeah. Thank you, and good morning then.
Thank you.
Good morning
Thank
to
you.
you.
Good
And
evening.
have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, chicas.
¿Se grabó todo?
Ay, no sé, estoy bien.
Cállate, Jason.
No, es que
Otra vez.
aquí pasó algo, pero espero que no haya.
No.